So, Joey, it is time for what you got right, what you got wrong. Teaser alert, you got a lot right. Let's start with your Cerebral Index 93. I'm wearing my Broncos tie because you were picking the Raiders +4 to win this game. Talk us through the result.
Yeah, so the Raiders were 4-point underdogs on the road at Denver to start the season. I have this vision for every single game where I want it to play out a certain way because I've been thinking about it for months, and the Broncos-Raiders game was one of many that just played out exactly as I thought it would. I figured the Broncos would get some ball movement, but wouldn't be punching in touchdowns. I figured the Raiders would also be getting ball movement and not punching in touchdowns, and my score projection for the game was a tie, 20-20, and the Raiders not only covered 4 points, but they won outright, 17-16. So we got that one in the bag. Easy money.
So, Joey, next pick that you got right. You've been calling the Jets-Bills Monday night game under all week long with no knowledge of what was happening to quarterbacks, but it was an under 47 pick. You've had it from the beginning. How did it end up? Talk us through it, brother.
The Bills traveled to the Jets to start the season, and the over-under in this game was 47. And from when it was posted back in April all the way through the first quarter, this bet was never a sweat. We know who these teams are. The Jets defense gave a lot of resistance to the Bills. They didn't give anything to Josh Allen downfield. He didn't complete a single pass for more than 20 yards. And on the other end, I had a feeling the Jets' offensive line would be a little bit improved and they would run the ball a little bit better. And when you can run the ball, that means more clock running. And all in all, like I said in my prediction, it's going to be hard to get touchdowns if you're either of these teams. Some pretty big defensive fronts they're facing and a lot of field goals in this game. And that's what happened.
So, Joey, a minute ago you said you had a feeling. You didn't have a feeling. All of your data, everything you sent us and our subscribers in advance, actually gave us a numerical rationale why it would stay under. And by the way, you can say feeling all you want, but your numbers don't lie, brother. So let's move on to the next game. Your third pick with a really high cerebral index rating, Jaguars laying 4.5, was your pick. You got it right.
So it was dicey for a lot of the game, of course. But the Jaguars ended up pulling ahead, and the Colts actually had a chance to backdoor cover in garbage time, and somehow they came up short on 4th and goal on the 1. But nonetheless, the Jaguars were just too much to handle. The Colts' defense played pretty well. They kept the Jags at 17 points through 3 quarters, which was pretty good, but ultimately they just don't have the personnel to stop that passing game, and the Jaguars got 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and that game was potentially going to be a loss after that wacky play where the fumble didn't get blown dead, and then the player picked it up, and then he got it knocked out of his hands, and they returned it. So at that point, I was like, okay, if that kind of stuff's going to happen, that's how I'm going to lose, so be it. But thankfully, they still covered despite that, being down 4 at the end of the 3rd.
All right, so let's move on to one that you got wrong, brother. This one, it's dear to my heart. I'm here in LA. You were calling the Seahawks to cover 5.5 points against the Rams. How'd that one end up?
So yeah, the Rams went into Seattle, where that used to be a big home field advantage, but no more. The Rams were 5.5 point underdogs, and they won outright. So, final score, Rams 30, Seahawks 13, an absolute beatdown. In the first half, things were looking good. Seahawks didn't punt a single time. They had 4 drives, a touchdown, 2 field goals, and a missed field goal. And I thought, okay, this is what I thought. Seahawks have a good offense. The Rams' defense is garbage. They're moving the ball. They didn't punt it a single time. But what I didn't consider was that the Rams had the stars aligned for their offense. The offensive line is healthy. The offensive line is playing well. Matthew Stafford is healthy. Matthew Stafford is playing well. And without Cooper Kupp, I was like, Who's he going to throw to, right? Well, now we know who he's going to throw to. He's going to throw to Tutu Atwell. He's going to throw to Puka Nacua. He's going to throw to Tyler Higbee. They're going to make things happen. Sean McVay is a genius. He ran circles around Pete Carroll, out-schemed the fuck out of him. Sorry if we have to bleep that one out.
No bleeps.
No bleeps.
I'm mine.
So yeah, there's definitely surprises week one. The Rams were this year's surprise, and I think Sean McVay might actually be the best coach in the NFL, so I'll just have to take that one on the chin.
So moving on to the fifth Cerebral Select, I want to remind everyone, this had the highest Cerebral Index rating. That is Joey's own formula. And he said Ravens under 44. You obviously hit that, Joey. Walk us through the why, and, will you please just brag a little bit? Like, do your touchdown dance for us, will you?
Yeah, that one didn't seem like it was ever a sweat. Everything fell perfectly into place how I thought. The Ravens running a bunch, a lot of clock gobbling. The Texans defense got them off the field a few times, got a fumble recovery, and the Texans had a long day on offense. They had 3 field goals, one of which was just because of that fumble. So they didn't get to 10 points like I predicted. And my score projection was 26-10, actually. And the final was 25-9. So I was real close there to that perfect score that I love to get every week if I can.
To refresh everyone's memory, the Cerebral 7 are the 5 best picks of the week. 2 special picks. Now, the special picks may be Thursday night, rivalry game, some strange anomaly that Joey's picking. And we chose for our first week to profile the Thursday night game. And Joey, you went 50-50 there. You were calling this game with the Chiefs getting beat, maybe outright. At least you were guaranteeing +5 on the Lions. Talk us through the exact math there, and your one-on-one on the Thursday night game. Again, the first game of the season.
Yeah, so the Lions went into Kansas City, and the over-under in this game was 52.5. The writing was on the wall with the Chiefs. If your defensive line is in shambles, there's going to be consequences to be paid for. And the Lions' game plan was a pretty good one. They were efficient, they were effective, and their defense is much improved. So they were able to get the Chiefs off the field. And the result with the over-under was a bit unfortunate. I projected there to be 6 punts in this game, which is less than average for sure. And for these two teams, I mean, that's what it should be. And there ended up being 10 punts in this game. Mahomes was 21 of 39, so that one we're just going to have to shake off. But I think the over was definitely the right bet still. There was just an uncanny number of third and shorts that ended up in punts.
So, Joey, of the Cerebral 7, you spent the time doing the work. You did the analytics. Your human AI is processing it. You went 5 out of 7 the first week that you were a professional. How do you feel about that?
I feel like 5-2 is cute and all, but 7-0 is really what I was going for. So we're going to have to figure out win them all.
So, Joey, we've got the Cerebral 7. You were 5-2. That's 71%. That is a crazy first professional week as a picker. But because we are not normal, we're doing this differently than anyone ever. You're like, stay away from the Niners at Pittsburgh. And you're like, this could be like a 2-week, two touchdown blowout either way. And you're like, stay away from it. Don't bet. It was only like a 2.5 point line. And you told all of our listeners, all of our subscribers to stay away from that game. Talk us through that, brother.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh was one of those teams that was just having a lot of signs pointing towards them being pretty good. And the fact that the spread stayed where it was for so long, despite the clear, massive talent on the Niners, it was just very alarming. So I was happy to stay away, but with the 49ers winning by 23, in hindsight, no, I kind of wish I wanted the Niners. But hey, now we got some more information. We know the Steelers suck. We know the 49ers are great. We know that Brock Purdy's elbow is no problem, and he is about the 10th best quarterback in the league. I think he's in the top 10.
Let's end tonight on a high note. There was this game. Commanders, formerly known as the Redskins, against the Arizona Cardinals. It didn't make it in the Cerebral 7, but it would have had we not profiled Thursday night. So it ended up Washington 20, Arizona 16. What did you predict again? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so somehow, some way, my score projections spat out Washington 20, Arizona 16. So last year, out of 272 regular season games, I got 4 perfect scores, and to start this year, we're off to week 1 getting 1 on the board.
So if we take a look at the numbers, just the overall numbers here, like I'm looking at against the spread 11-5. Over-unders, you were 10-6. That's 21-11, which is a 65.6% percentage, which is better than just about all of the Vegas guys. It appears when you apply logic and reason and a big brain and a great memory and watching every snap of every game. I'm not saying it's good enough yet, but damn, 65.6%. People should be subscribing to this. Joey, brother, this was so great. I'm honored to be the first guest host. Please take me back maybe in week 5 or 6. But thank you again. I can't wait to see week 2. You rock, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back. Thanks so much for coming on. And I've had a ton of fun this week, and I'm really glad to be doing this, and I'm really glad to be Cerebral. This has been great.